Luo King. When this name reached the ears of Sun Elder, it caused his heart to shake, and a look of shock appeared on his face. The Lord of 10,000 Stars, Earth Supreme, and Tai King exchanged glances upon seeing the reaction of Sun Elder. However, the astonishment on Sun Elder's face did not appear on theirs, because for them, who had only been in the Wandering Realm for a few hundred years, they had never heard of this name. But they were curious. What kind of person could make Sun Elder, who had been in the Wandering Realm for over 1,000 years, react like this? As Tai King and the others pondered, Sun Elder began to recall some memories from about 1,300 years ago, events that occurred in this very Wandering Realm. At that time, the Black Spirit Clan, like today, had been in seclusion for tens of thousands of years. Even though other forces occasionally provoked them, the Black Spirit Clan ignored them. This long-standing indifference to external provocations had led some sects to doubt the true strength and foundation of the Black Spirit Clan. Around 1,500 years ago, rumors began to spread throughout the Wandering Realm that the Black Spirit Clan's legends were fabricated, that they were not as powerful as the stories suggested. Even doubts arose about whether there were any Earth Supremes within the clan. If the Black Spirit Clan did not have the deep foundation it was said to possess, they did not deserve to hold such vast territories. At that time, the domain of the Black Spirit Clan was far larger than it is now, at least 100 times bigger. The suspicions of the various forces in the Wandering Realm grew over the following 2 centuries. Some forces, emboldened by these doubts, escalated their provocations. However, these were mostly verbal challenges, as the ancient Black Spirit King's legend still carried great weight, and no force dared to confront the Black Spirit Clan directly. But about 1,300 years ago, these verbal provocations were finally broken by a so-called top-tier force. This force struck at a medium-sized continent on the outskirts of the Black Spirit Clan's domain. The dozen or so Earth Supreme experts stationed there were jointly defeated by the attacking force, who took them as hostages to demand supreme spiritual liquid from the Black Spirit Clan. This event spread like wildfire across the Wandering Realm, and the Black Spirit Clan, who had not offended any forces in over 10,000 years, was taken completely by surprise. How could such an honest clan be so humiliated? Meanwhile, many strong individuals in the outside world began to worry for the attacking force. If the Black Spirit Clan's strength was indeed intact, this so-called top-tier force would likely be wiped out by them like ants. However, the final outcome shocked most of the powerful beings in the realm. Despite the humiliating situation, the Black Spirit Clan actually compromised and paid a price of 4 million supreme spiritual liquid to ransom the captured experts. This action caused a massive uproar throughout the Wandering Realm. Rather than settling into a period of quiet development, the Black Spirit Clan found itself facing an even greater crisis. In the short span of a few years after this event, more than 10 forces launched attacks on the Black Spirit Clan's peripheral continents. During this period, the Black Spirit Clan lost 19 Earth Supremes, and around 40 to 50 more were severely injured. The casualties only continued to rise. Eventually, a powerful alliance known as Anti-Black Spirit emerged near the Black Spirit Clan's domain. This alliance, led by several mid-tier forces of the Wandering Realm, included over 10 subsidiary factions. At that time, Sun Elder was still an 8th-grade Supreme. Though the Sun God Temple did not officially join the Anti-Black Spirit Alliance, Sun Elder was still aware of the Alliance's activities. The Anti-Black Spirit Alliance was led by an Upper Earth Supreme, with 3 Lower Earth Supremes as deputies. Beneath them were nearly 5,000 Supreme-level experts. Such a massive force, capable of contending with the strongest factions in the Wandering Realm, existed solely to divide the Black Spirit Clan's vast wealth and resources. The question was no longer how to defeat the Black Spirit Clan, but how to carve up its wealth. After the establishment of the Anti-Black Spirit Alliance, they did not immediately launch a devastating attack on the Black Spirit Clan. To avoid being seen as oppressors by other powerful beings from the Wandering Realm, the Anti-Black Spirit Alliance instead followed a formal process and issued an official declaration of war against the Black Spirit Clan. The declaration was simple. The leader of the Anti-Black Spirit Alliance issued a one-on-one challenge to the strongest member of the Black Spirit Clan. This was a direct duel between a legendary powerful race and the currently recognized supreme force, with the battlefield being the Anti-Black Spirit Alliance itself. After the challenge letter was sent, as everyone had expected, the Black Spirit clan remained silent for months. The challenge letter seemed to have vanished without a trace, like a stone sinking into the sea. Such behavior from the Black Spirit clan completely enraged the Anti-Black Spirit Alliance. Most of the forces in the Wandering Realm were also filled with disbelief. To them, it seemed like the Black Spirit clan had run out of options. By not responding, weren't they just afraid? Fueled by rage, the Anti-Black Spirit Alliance mobilized nearly its entire force. Led by the 4 Supreme Earth experts, 5,000 Supreme experts set out in a massive march toward the Black Spirit clan. For those who were too arrogant to even respond to the offer, they were ready to wipe them out completely. The Wandering Realm was no ordinary place. In this domain, to secure a territory, one needed sufficient power. Did the Black Spirit clan possess such power? However, this vast and overwhelming army, charging straight toward the Black Spirit clan, was forced to stop when they were still about 10 million miles away. The only thing that could halt their relentless advance was a single person, someone they had never even heard of. Hey Luo King. Above the endless seas, Sun Elder gazed incredulously at the old man in black ahead of him. Then, a voice filled with shock escaped his lips. How can Hey Luo King still be alive? Sun Elder said in disbelief. Sun Elder, who exactly is this Hey Luo King? Tai King and the others couldn't help but ask. They knew that if this was just an ordinary perfected Earth Supreme, Sun Elder would not have reacted this way. There are many things I'll explain to you later, but for now, we can only do one thing. Sun Elder said to Tai King and the others, retreat. Retreat? Retreat? The decisive command from Sun Elder left Tai King and the others stunned. Though they knew they were at a disadvantage with a perfected Earth Supreme on the other side, Tai King and the others could feel that Sun Elder's decision was not as simple as it seemed. This is unbelievable. Tai King looked at the distant Hey Luo King, his expression serious. What kind of person was this, to have such a huge impact on Sun Elder? With such a powerful Upper Earth Supreme as Sun Elder forced to retreat, there was no way they, as Lower Earth Supremes, could stay. Though reluctant, Tai King and the 10,000 Stars Earth Supreme quickly gathered their Supreme experts and prepared to withdraw. Hey Luo King, we admit defeat this time, and from now on, we will no longer target the Black Spirit clan, Sun Elder called out to the distant Hey Luo King. Hearing this, Hey Luo King only smiled, saying nothing. The warriors of the martial realm, who had been watching from a distance, were also filled with disbelief. Who was this Hey Luo King, to have merely stated his name and already caused the retreat of the 3 Earth Supremes? Sun Elder and the others had to verify whether this person was the real Hey Luo King. Let's go. After the 3 forces gathered their Supreme experts, with a wave of Sun Elder's hand, everyone vanished into the distorted space. Their retreat was so fast it almost seemed like they were fleeing for their lives. Buzz. After Sun Elder and the others entered the distorted space and returned to their own territories, the world seemed to calm once more. Far off, Yin slowly disbanded the massive army of millions of heavenly tigers, and the once battle-filled realm regained its peace. However, within the distorted space leading to the Sun God Temple, things were far from calm. Sun Elder, with a grave expression, led his forces back to the Sun God Temple as quickly as possible. During the journey, Sun Elder recalled the Hey Luo King who had blocked the Anti-Black Spirit Alliance's 5,000-strong forces 1,300 years ago. Enraged and ready to wipe out the Black Spirit clan, the Anti-Black Spirit Alliance, and the man who had stopped them, Hey Luo King, engaged in a shocking battle millions of miles away from the Black Spirit clan. Few people knew what happened in that battle, apart from the nearly 100 powerful warriors who managed to escape the battlefield. The Hey Luo King single-handedly slaughtered the Grand Leader of the Anti-Black Spirit Alliance on the spot. As for the other 3 Lower Earth Supremes, 2 were killed and 1 severely wounded. The injured one managed to escape to the Wandering Realm, but their whereabouts are now unknown. As for the 5,000 Supreme-level experts, nearly all were wiped out, with only 100 or so lucky survivors fleeing the battlefield. This was a massacre by one man, and from that moment on, though the name of the He Luo King did not spread throughout the wandering realm, it was etched into the minds of the leaders of all the major factions at that time. After that, the He Luo King never appeared in the wandering realm again. Even Sun Elder believed he had likely been heavily wounded or killed in that battle. The Anti-Black Spirit Alliance seemed to have vanished without a trace, and no signs of the Black Spirit Clan's experts moving were noticed. However, after this, the Black Spirit Clan directly abandoned most of its territories, retreating to the last remaining continent. The current Xuanxiang Heavenly Domain was once part of the Black Spirit Clan's domain. After all the experts from the Sun God Temple, Star Pavilion, and Titan Heavenly Domain had evacuated, there was a burst of cheers among the experts of the martial realm. However, when they turned their gaze towards the distant He Luo King, they were filled with immense dread. This He Luo King, who had scared off 3 major factions with just his name, what kind of terrifying figure was he? Just as everyone was filled with astonishment at the He Luo King, he slowly glided towards Lin Dong and the others from the martial realm. "Thank you, He Luo King, for your help this time," Lin Dong said, cupping his hands in respect as he saw the approaching He Luo King. "There's no need for such formalities. This sea area and the nearby continents were originally part of my Black Spirit Clan's territory. Driving out the invaders is only natural," said the He Luo King. "From what you're saying, He Luo King, does the Black Spirit Clan plan to reclaim these lost territories?" Lin Dong asked. "Heh, now that the Black Spirit Clan and the Martial Realm are allies, it would be quite shameful for us to remain under the Martial Realm's banner without sufficient territory," the He Luo King replied with a teasing smile. "Since this is Black Spirit Clan's territory, it naturally must be fully reclaimed. If you need any help, He Luo King, please feel free to ask the Martial Realm," Lin Dong said. As he finished speaking, Elder Song behind him stepped forward. "Congratulations, Martial Ancestor. With the addition of the Black Spirit Clan, we have taken another major step toward our goal," Elder Song said, cupping his hands toward Lin Dong. He then turned to the He Luo King. However, the He Luo King's return may attract the attention of the top 3 factions. So, although we are now stronger, the road ahead will become even more difficult. "Oh, you know of me?" the He Luo King asked, his interest piqued. "Years ago, you single-handedly eliminated the 4 Earth Supremes and thousands of Supremes from the Anti-Black Spirit Alliance. I was fortunate enough to see a remnant image of that scene in a Supreme's secret treasure," Elder Song replied. "At that time, your strength was at the 9th grade Supreme level. I assume you were one of the few who escaped the battle. Indeed, about 100 or so people managed to escape, but that's all in the past. I don't wish to talk about it anymore," the He Luo King sighed, then shifted the conversation. "By the way, now that the Black Spirit Clan and the Martial Realm are allies, with this deterrence, the Sun God Temple and the like should no longer dare to invade. When do we begin the bloodline modification for my Black Spirit Clan? Rest assured, He Luo King, the stone talismans used to balance the bloodline power will be produced by the Martial Realm with full effort," Lin Dong replied. "However, given the vast population of the Black Spirit Clan, large-scale production of those stone talismans will likely result in some variation in quality compared to the one within the He Ming clan leader's children. That's to be expected. If they're slightly worse, so be it. But this is a grand-scale project, so there's no need to rush," the He Luo King said. He understood that Lin Dong was correct. The Black Spirit Clan's population numbered in the tens of billions, and even if only 1/10 of them were to undergo bloodline modification, it would require at least several hundred billion stone talismans. Such a massive undertaking would likely take hundreds of years to complete. Now that the top 3 factions have withdrawn, I'll go with you to the Martial Realm, the He Luo King said. Since we are allies now, we need to establish spatial channels between our 2 domains so we can support each other in times of attack. I'll have someone take care of that, Lin Dong replied, his gaze turning to the vast blue sea below. "Oh? What's going on?" He Luo King inquired, following Lin Dong's gaze down towards the endless sea below. "There might be an underwater treasure down there, and this used to be the territory of the Black Spirit Clan. I'm curious how much the senior He Luo King knows about this area, Lin Dong asked, while Elder Song and others also looked towards He Luo King. The three major forces that gathered here earlier were also after this underwater treasure. There's an underwater treasure here? To everyone's surprise, He Luo King questioned Lin Dong's statement. Doesn't the senior He Luo King know about it? Lin Dong expressed his slight astonishment at He Luo King's response. He Luo King shook his head, then raised his hand. A vast surge of spiritual energy erupted forth. He wasn't sure whether there really was a treasure beneath the sea, but since he wanted to find out, why not take a look for himself? Seeing He Luo King's actions, Lin Dong waved to the martial realm experts around him. Upon seeing his signal, the hundreds of martial realm experts retreated, leaving only He Luo King, Lin Dong, Yin, and Elder Song in their original positions. Whoosh! The overwhelming spiritual energy that flowed from He Luo King covered a vast area of tens of thousands of miles. Under the watchful eyes of the martial realm warriors, this spiritual energy began to coalesce in the air. After a few moments, a massive semicircular transparent shield, several million zhang in size, gradually materialized before everyone. In the realm of the heavens and the earth, where all things became solid, a being at the level of He Luo King, who had reached the realm of perfected Earth Supreme, could manifest not just mountains and peaks, but any conceivable shape. Buzz. The colossal transparent shield, resembling glass, required an amount of spiritual energy equivalent to the full power of an upper Earth Supreme to manifest. After creating the solid, transparent semicircular shield, He Luo King slapped his hand down, causing the towering shield to descend onto the sea surface. Boom! Such a massive object landing on the sea surface immediately stirred up a tempest, sending gigantic waves spiraling into the sky. But the enormous transparent shield gradually sank into the depths while remaining filled with air inside, untouched by the rushing seawater. He Luo King's maneuver left many powerful beings in awe, as the shield was filled with air, preventing the surrounding seawater from flooding in. Its transparency allowed everyone to see clearly what lay beneath it as it descended into the depths. As everyone waited, the shield continued to sink with astonishing speed toward the sea floor. Finally, after several moments, it came to a halt, indicating that the semicircular transparent shield had indeed reached the bottom. At that moment, the portion of the shield above the water still extended thousands of zhang above the surface. Let's go take a look, He Luo King said as he cleared the water from the area beneath the shield and gestured for Lin Dong and the others to follow. With that, he moved swiftly towards the portion of the shield still visible above the water. Not far behind, Lin Dong and the others followed suit. Splash! As the massive transparent shield continued its descent, huge waves surged around it. The portion of the shield above water resembled a solitary island, yet anyone could peer through this island and see the depths extending thousands of zhang below. When Lin Dong and his companions reached the shield, they freely observed the seabed. What is this? He Luo King asked as he peered through the transparent shield down below. The sight momentarily stunned him. Similarly, Lin Dong and his companions exchanged glances, their expressions reflecting surprise. What they saw was a chaotic landscape revealed by the massive shield displacing water, with a layer of residual seawater about 100 zhang deep evident on the surface. Within this shallow water, several fish, each dozens of zhang long, swam helplessly, trapped in the area covered by the transparent shield, unable to escape. It was the ancient remains of a true dragon, lying at the bottom of the sea for an unknown amount of time. The bones of the true dragon were enormous, nearly 1 million zhang in size. At the neck of this dragon's skeleton, however, there was a vast ravine extending for hundreds of thousands of zhang. Beneath this ravine was an unfathomable darkness, and it was this massive chasm that had completely separated the dragon's body from its head. Through this scene, Lin Dong and the others seemed to see the distant ancient moment. A destructive strike falling from the heavens, under which a powerful true dragon tribe warrior was cleaved in two, his body and head separated, falling to the ground in that very instant.